Leslie Hoffman. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us. If it's okay, I think for me, my favorite genre of film as a child was the spoof comedies of the Zucker brothers. And I couldn't let this interview go by without asking you about your work in stunts and acting in the Zucker brothers' work. So that must have been a thrill. Is it as wild behind the camera as it is on camera? Or
Again, it's you get called up for. I hate to say that you go, whoopee! You know, I'm going to be working for this person. Is you're going, whoopee! I got a job.
I got a job. Yeah, it's the day at work.
Anyway, actually, I was visiting my parents back in northern New York when the stunt coordinator called and said, "Are you available for this job that I have?" And I said, "Well, I'm in New York right now." And he goes, "Oh, well, we're not filming it until whatever date he said." And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll be back by then. Yes, I'm available to do this." And that was Airplane. And there was probably about 20 stunt people on the sound stage. And the stunt coordinator was in a truck, and the nose of the airplane. Have I even said which movie I'm talking about?
Well, you said Airplane, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I must quote that film daily.
Anyways, okay, so 20 stunt people are in the airplane terminal, and the stunt coordinator is driving a truck where they built the nose of the plane on the back of the truck, and on action he backs up the truck, which shoves the nose of the plane through the terminal glass window, and we all go jumping out of the way. But again, that was the scene I was in. I mean, until I saw the movie, I didn't get the whole storyline of it. It's a funny film.
It's incredible. Really... It's incredible. A completely new approach to comedy, but to get as many jokes in as possible, as soon as possible, to keep people laughing, which is a very bold approach. I remember I was reading a book about it that people were saying it would not work to have that many jokes in a film. Well, they proved them wrong.
Yeah, well, no, I sort of disagree with it. I mean, I think if you see silent films, you know, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, I mean, you just kept them laughing.
Keep them going, yeah. And I think that there's such a disparate style of jokes that are in there, visual,
don't call me Charlie.
Yeah, don't call me.
It's a building. What's or however she said, the hospital, and he goes, it's a building with a lot of rooms or something like that.
What can you make of it, Johnny? I can make a brooch. I can make a pterodactyl.
Oh, that's Johnny characters, absolutely my favorite.
Me too. Me too.
What do you make out of this? Well, you could make a bow, or you can make a pterodactyl.
Oh my word! So you must have made a good impression, because you were involved in The Naked Gun as well. Is that right?
Again, it was the same stunt coordinator. You know, if you do a good job for a stunt coordinator, they will continue to hire you in other projects they have, and it happened to be the same stunt coordinator, Conrad Palmisano. In Naked Gun, I was hired to double Queen Elizabeth, who gets tackled by Dremmond, played by Leslie Nielsen, and we go sliding down about this 40-foot long banquet table. But there was actually more fun behind the camera, waiting to film the stunt, uh, because Leslie and I share the same name.
Of
In fact, it's
course.
even spelled the same. And all day long, they're yelling Leslie to the set, and they mean Leslie Nielsen.
Ah.
Finally, they get up to my stunt and they say Leslie to the set, and Leslie Nielsen walks up to me and says, Leslie, that's a nice sounding name. And I
Uh,
couldn't think of a snappy comeback to that. All I could say is, I think so, Leslie. And he
oh,
really did have this miniature whoopee cushion where
oh,
it would make farting sounds.
yes.
You'd stand next to somebody and you'd hear this. You know?
Oh, amazing. Amazing. That's what you want from Leslie Nielsen, definitely.
But the
So,
other interesting thing about Naked Gun is
mhm,
I worked with Ricardo Montalban on Fantasy Island.
right.
And I walked on to the Naked Gun set, which is, I don't know how many years after Fantasy Island. And Ricardo Montalban comes up to me, this movie star. I mean,
Yeah, legend.
I mean, and he goes, "Hello, Leslie." I mean, it was like this 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 iconic actor remembers my name,
Wow.
you know, and he only met me, well, I don't know. I was on Fantasy Island several times, but still that he just had such a memory that he could remember my name. And I do have a picture of myself dressed up as the queen and Ricardo Montalban standing behind me.
Ah, yes, that lady, who I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she used to be on a lot of British television shows. I remember her in my youth.
Yeah.
A lot.
See, I don't remember the name of the actress either. Is that, when it came time for the stunt, it was myself doubling the queen and Bruce Barber doubling Leslie Nielsen. So it was really just the stuntman and myself for the scene. Now, he had to hit a mini tramp to tackle me to the table. It was done in 2 different shots. Well, he would hit that mini tramp and he'd hit me way up high, to the left, to the right. We must have filmed it 6 or 7 times because they didn't like where he was landing on top of me.
Right.
And nobody, the room was quiet and they just reset and they filmed it again. Now, the stunt down the banquet table, they had this little tray that had wheels, and the wire was run underneath the tablecloth of the banquet table.
Hmm.
And we already started at me laying on my back and my legs up in the air, and Bruce Barber, Leslie Nielsen's double, laying on top of me. And on action, a bunch of grips just pulled the wire, and down the banquet table we went, waving our arms and our legs. And
Oh, wow.
we get to the end of the table. We filmed that once.
Right.
And at the end of that scene, everybody in the room applauded for that one.
Oh,
They
wow.
so they didn't applaud that Bruce Barber, hit a
No.
tramp and landed on top of me,
Wow.
and multiple times. They
Yeah.
they they
How
just
strange.
found us going down the banquet table the greatest thing in the world, and I think it is one of the highlights of Naked Gun.
Yeah, it comes to mind very easily. I always think that's a good sign. You know, if things come to mind so quickly, definitely. Guys, get on it. Go and visit Leslie. Go and speak to Leslie at her booth. Get things signed and enjoy the conversation as much as I have. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.